Value is the name of the game right now if you're buying comics. Welcome back to another video. This really popped when I saw it. That to me is a monster increase. Again, this book got hot. This book is ready to go higher.
So let's jump right into it.
We are back today with another statue review from Diamond Select Toys. Without further ado, let's get into the review. Bang! What is going on, YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and I want to thank you guys for joining me for another video here on the channel. Today, of course, is our Hot 10 breakdown of the week. If you guys aren't familiar with this one, I break down the 10 hottest comics according to the Key Collector app, and I tell you guys out there if I'm buying these books at these prices or if I'm staying the hell away. But before we get started in the video, like always, I want to remind you guys, if you're not a current sub of the channel, do yourself a favor, hit that sub button for me, smash the like button because it really helps the channel out. If you guys aren't following me on Twitter and on Instagram, do yourself a favor, click those links below as well. But with that said, it is now time for the Hot 10 breakdown of the week. Starting off the list at number 10 is a new book. It is a copy of Batman number 244 and the battle between Batman and Ra's al Ghul, with the iconic panel featuring Batman kissing Talia al Ghul. And we just had a CGC 9.2 just sell this week for $613, up 8% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.0 sale of only $125, up 10% over the average. You guys know I am a big Batman fan, so I want to collect a lot of the Batman keys, and this is definitely one of them. However, I don't want to spend over $600 on this book, even though I absolutely love this great Neil Adams cover. I'd rather spend around $200 to get a little bit of a lower grade. If I want to spend the high dollar amounts, I'm probably going to go after the first appearance of Ra's al Ghul. To me, that is the better buy, but this is a must-own for any Batman collector. Falling to number 9 this week is a copy of Conan the Barbarian number 1 and the first appearance of Conan the Barbarian. And we just had a CGC 9.2 sell last week for $1,148, up 17% over the average. Then we also had a CGC 5.0 sale of only $300, up 15% over the average. I started off this video talking about value, and a 5.0 for a silver and almost Bronze Age book for only $300. I think that's a great deal. Again, you can still find value in a lot of these keys if you do your due diligence. Again, if you're a big Conan fan, you probably want to own the book. If not, to each his own. Coming in at number 8 and back on the list is a copy of Captain America number 100 and the first solo title Captain America series in the Silver Age. And we just had a CGC 9.4 just sell last week for an insane $2,950, up 12% over the average. We also had a CGC 8.0 sale of $614, up 1% over the average. I remember about 6 years ago when I first got back into the hobby, I picked up this book in mid-grade for around $100. Look where it is right now. Again, if I'm spending all this money, I'd rather own the first true Silver Age appearance of Captain America in Avengers number 4. Other than that, if I could find this book for a deal, I'll be all over it, but if not, I'm probably staying away. Value, value, value at number 7. At the 7th spot this week is a copy of Fantastic Four number 52 and the first appearance of Black Panther, T'Challa, King of Wakanda. And we just had a CGC 7.5 just sell last week for $2,016, up 8% over the average. Then we had a CGC 5.5 sale of $769, up 9% over the average. I'm seeing this book around a 4 to 5.0 selling for only $400 to $500. From where this book was at about 2 years ago, it's down about 60% from the highs. That to me is value in a big Silver Age first appearance. Who knows, we may see T'Challa again as his son in the MCU. Regardless, I think this book is a must buy in mid-grade. At the 6th spot this week is a copy of Uncanny X-Men number 129 and the first appearance of Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost. And we just had a CGC 9.6 just sell last week for $750, up 22% over the average. Then we had a CGC 9.0 sale of only $275, up 6% over the average. Wow, this book has come down over the past couple of years. If you're a big X-Men fan, this book is a must-own, but I gotta ask you, if you're not a big X-Men fan, what is the draw to buying this book right here, right now? For me, not being a huge X-Men fan, I'm staying away, but for anyone else, to each his own. At the 5 spot this week is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 210 and the first appearance of Madam Web. And yes, we are all ready for that movie to flop. And we just had a CGC 9.8 sell last week for $800, up only 1% over the average. Then we had a CGC 8.5 sale of only $139, up 28% over the average. So which is it, folks? Again, you guys know I picked up my copy of around $40, $45. If you're a giant Madam Web fan, and I can't say that there are probably many of those out there, I'm not spending this kind of money on this book right here, right now. We all know what's going to happen to the movie, and right after it comes out, this book is going to drop. But hey, I'm an Amazing Spider-Man completist, and I definitely want to own the book, but I have to get a massive deal on it. Coming in at number 4 on this list is the one that started it all in the Silver Age. It is a copy of Fantastic Four number 1 and the first appearance and origin of the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family. And we just had a CGC 5.0 just sell last week for $22,500, up 4% over the average. But guess what? We had a CGC 3.5 sale of $24,000, up 31% over the average. Yes, you heard that right. A 3.5 sold for more than a 5.0 just sold for. If you guys watched my eBay sales video from last week, you know this book was all over it. And guess what? There was another copy that sold right after it. If you're a big Fantastic Four fan, I'd be all over this book. But if you're not, I gotta say, there are better Silver Age first appearance to buy for this kind of money. Dropping from the top spot down to number 3 this week is a copy of X-Men number 130 and the first appearance of Dazzler. This is also the second appearance of Kitty Pryde and Emma Frost. And we just had a CGC 9.8 sell last week for $1,685, up 10% over the average. Then we had a CGC 9.0 sale of only $280, up 26% over the average. This book will definitely not go away. I don't know what we're going to do, guys. I cannot wait for Deadpool 3 to come out so this book can drop like a rock. Who knows if Taylor Swift's going to be in that movie or not, but that is all the rage going on with this book. You know I'm not buying this one right here, right now, for what it's going for. I'd be staying away. At number 2 on this week's list is another book that's been all over this list. It is a copy of Star Wars number 1 and the first appearance of most of the original Star Wars characters. And we just had a CGC 9.8 that just sold last week for $3,840, up 18% over the average. Man, that is a big jump for this book. Not too sure why we keep seeing this book on the list over and over and over. Probably to do with all the new shows coming out on Disney Plus relating to Star Wars. Regardless, if you're a massive Star Wars fan, it's a must-own book in any grade. Just pick the grade that you want in your collection. But other than that, if you're not, I'm definitely staying away from this one. Finally, at the top spot this week is what else? It is a copy of Wolverine number 1. It is back, just like Hugh Jackman in Deadpool 3. And we just had a CGC 9.4 just sell last week for $225, up another 19% over the average. Then we had a CGC 8.5 sale of $135, up 17% over the average. Of course, we know this is an iconic cover by the great Frank Miller. Again, I love this cover. One of the first books that I bought when I got back into collecting about 6 years ago. But to me, to spend all this money on this book when there's about 35,000 of them probably on the census, again, get your copy for around $100 to $150 just to have if you love the cover, if you love Wolverine. But other than that, I'm probably staying away right here, right now. That's it for the list this week, guys. Finally, we got some new books on this list like FF1, FF52, some Batman books. I'm happy to finally see it. But of course, we have some of the main spec books that still are returning like Wolverine and of course X-Men 130. I don't know what to tell you guys. Buy what you like. With that said, it is now time for my best buy of the week. And a lot of people out there are probably going to think it's FF1. It's the biggest key on here. But what I'm saying right now, and the whole point of this video, is value. What is the best value on this list right now? And in my opinion, it's FF number 52, the first appearance of T'Challa as the Black Panther. To me, this book can be had in mid-grade for so freaking cheap, around $400 to $500 in mid-grade. To me, that is way underpriced for where it was about 2 years ago. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.